within the United States. They're not exposed to foreign risk or currency risk. Is that why they're up? That's it?
Yeah, because here you have a group of stocks. They have no exposure to Europe whatsoever, and money needs a place. It needs a place, and it's going to always find the safest haven in this particular market. You're going to see money. The banking sector is a disaster. You're going to see money coming out of the banking sector, finding stocks like this. These are the types of stocks you're going to see appreciate.
Okay, Kim Strassel, I know you have to go in a moment, but I want to get you in for a last word. I want to return to the British vote yesterday. You were surprised, I'm sure.
Yes.
Are you pleased?
Look, I think there's a mixed view here, okay? I agree with all those who say that this is a sovereignty question, and, you know, the EU, this horrible nanny super state that has imposed too much regulation. But I think the question here is what comes next. And so there's a lot of ways that this can go. Who becomes the next prime minister? Does he actually take the reins and lead Britain in a positive, strong new direction? I just heard those numbers of people that supposedly in France and Sweden agree with the British. You got to remember that's the population. The question is, does the government of Germany and the government of France worry that there's going to be a following of Britain, and so as a result try to punish Britain, make it harder to do trade deals, make it harder to do business with England, and to send a sort of warning message out to other countries? We don't know yet how this is all going to turn out, so it's going to take a couple of months for things to settle.
Ralph Peters, come back in again, please. Do you think that, say, the Germans and some other European countries still in the European Union, will they try to take it out on the Brits, be nasty to them, to stop anybody else trying to leave?
Well, it'd be really tough for Germany because the ties with England are so close, and they export so much to the United Kingdom. Bureaucrats can be vindictive and vengeful, and they may very well try something in the short term. But I think, you know, Germany is obviously the key, and the business people in Germany want trade to continue. There are about 3,000 German corporations active on English soil, and about the same number vice versa. So, Stuart, I just don't like hysteria. General Keane and I were in the green room talking about this, and this is why you don't want Wall Street traders running military operations, because they absolutely panic at everything. You have one shot and 1,000 birds take off. And you know, if I had a chunk of cash today, I would have bought into American-based corporations. So back to your original question, 2 points. One, Germany is the power, but Germany needs trade above all. And Germany's gotten away with a lot. They've got Greece locked in debtor's prison. They've basically become a new form of German empire. The Brits stood up to it. And I know a lot of people, you know, say, well, this is the end for Angela Merkel. Before you get rid of the Kaiser, be sure what comes next.
I'm just wondering if when we went on the air, and Elizabeth and I have been on the air virtually all day and all night, we said that this was a huge, big deal, that this was a history-making moment. Was it? I mean, is it really as big, and as with all the implications, is it a history-making event?
Yes, it is.
Are we overblowing it?
No, because in the financial collapse 2008, the anticipation, you reported this, was that the government was going to be ham-handed. It was going to intervene. It was going to be too heavy-handed stepping into the markets, and it did. And we have now, as we've said, Europe and America in a horse race to see who can grow more slowly. So now we see the UK shaking that off. They're saying we want our sovereignty back. We don't want to be accountable to unaccountable bureaucrats in the European Union.
Kim Strassel is still with us. I think she's still in the top left-hand box there. I believe she's still there. I want the last word from you on this. Am I making this too big a deal?
No, it is a very big deal. Look, the European Union has been a fixture for a long time, and it's been headed the wrong direction for a long time in terms of its desire to tell all of the countries what they do and put them in a terrible economic situation. So this is a moment that, if nothing else, is a shot over the bow and an opportunity for the EU to rethink what it is, and an opportunity for Britain to chart its own course again.
What do you say on this, Ralph Peters?
Well, you know, no story is ever as big as the news media makes it out to be. But this is a historic moment. My problem is at the moment, right now, it's also a hysterical moment. But I think it is important. And I'm serious about the vital role England has always played in European history. It's been the standalone, the outlier for freedom. And again, I don't think the EU is going to go away, but it needed to be chastened. And this tyranny of the clerks, this meta-government with which Mrs. Clinton and President Obama have so much sympathy, it has to be reversed. And when you have this, again, this meta-government, unelected, because the European Parliament in Strasbourg means nothing. It's the clerks in Brussels that matter. When you have them controlling everything from immigration to the fat content of cheese, something's wrong. And I just feel that, Stuart, there was a turning point last year, and you've alluded to it, as have others, when Angela Merkel suddenly opened not just Germany's, but really Europe's gates to 1 million more migrants. That tipped Germany's hand. She did not consult with the other members of the EU. She expected them to salute and fall in line. That is what Germany has expected. And the Brits today, God bless them, said no.
Ralph Peters, thank you very much indeed. We do appreciate you being here. Kim Strassel, I know we've got to say goodbye. Thanks very much for being with us on a very big day. And I did not make too much of it. It's not a big deal.
No, you did not.
Look, I've got some European